Good, hello, and welcome back to Star Trek Resurgence. This is episode 2. So, last time, Carter went on the outside of the ship and helped fix a lot of the problems there. Meanwhile, Jara, inside the ship, was dealing with a lot more of the,
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock.
issues with...
It is imperative that the
Being your first
Ambassador's
officer.
shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with.
When you look at it logically, yes, it is just a shuttle. No different than any of the others.
There is plenty that is different about it, and that is what you are to investigate. But please limit your findings to observable scientific phenomena.
We'll try to restrain ourselves.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any
he was just
abnormalities
in
your
it,
report.
like it's...
Carry on.
He was just
It
in the
seems
shuttle.
like he's warming up to us.
Hang on. That changed. Lieutenant Commander Chovek agreed with Carter's purely logical approach to working on Ambassador Spock's shuttle. Yeah, well...
Yeah.
Even Chovak has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one.
No, you don't.
You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Okay. Yeah. Diagnostic. Begin diagnostic.
So... I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then...
That's fair.
I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me.
Are you... upset?
Not on your life, Diaz. But you need to be careful. I like my friends and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
That's a good idea.
Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Well,
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
wait a second.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation. Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm thinking sabotage, but
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
Okay.
They're all the same. Subspace variants out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other.
Oh,
Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll
you
check
seem
the
to
nacelles
know
for
about
cracked coil.
warp core stuff, whereas she knew more about navigation, so I'm gonna send her on what she's aware of. Your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through it will reveal the unseen. Press 2 to equip or holster your tricorder, and press left mouse button to scan glowing objects. You must be close to some objects to scan them. Watch the frame of the screen to see when they are far away. Okay, some objects you scan will activate a deep scan. A deep scan uses Q and E to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there is an object to find in that mode. When you have scanned all the objects, the frame will change color. Press and hold right to analyze the data and finish the screen. Okay. Okay. In their standby state, warp coils produce a residual electromagnetic field, no deviation detected. The center coils guide the warp field through the focal event, maintaining a collimated thrust vector, no fractures detected. Leading coils show evidence of routine maintenance to repair microabrasion from neutrino emissions. Nothing else there. Nothing in that zone either, if we're honest.
I checked every coil on the port nacelle for imbalances. If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So, it must be the navigation array.
It won't be.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Now's not the time.
Hey.
You've got jobs to do.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go.
Really?
The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
You're the one with the important job to do. Keeping the captain safe. And Ambassador Spock.
It doesn't always feel that way. Baking in the hot sun, standing guard next to an empty shuttlecraft. But it has its moments.
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Get y'all later.
Okay. Good for you, I guess.
Don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go.
Yep, see ya. Oh, come on, just...
Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now.
Do me a favor. Come back safe.
Deal.
Now is not the time to get bogged down in this. You both have important jobs to do. Just get going.
Be seeing you.
Just go! just... I should not have chosen to initiate the romantic thing with these two, because it really, it's
Florida Diaz.
completely and utterly
If you could float back
inappropriate.
down to reality, we still have a ways to go.
You need to compartmentalize in this
All right,
job,
where
and they're
were we?
not.
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work.
Okay.
If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now.
There's the warnings.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure return non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different
What?
ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 0.3. Warp pressure is destabilizing.
Okay.
Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
That's interesting. So now we're following Jara and the diplomatic mission where she has to make friends with both sides. We can do that, I think. So what sort of approach do we do to try and... so the Hotari are these new aliens, right?
Ambassador Spock, Captain Salamo.
Okay, so they're like a
Welcome to
mix of
Hotari.
a few different
We are
species
honored to
with the
inform.
design they've
My
gone.
name is Tyler
They're
Saltaris,
interesting.
Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours. And this is Commander Jara Rydick, first officer aboard the USS Resolute.
Okay.
You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illydians.
We are honored to be here as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation, the reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen.
Interesting.
But either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Sidron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Oh, right. They're not very happy with these people. The Aldinian.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
Okay, that's Liam O'Brien.
If you'll excuse me.
So maybe the other voice wasn't.
I think we're about to begin.
Or maybe he's playing two characters.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
Something about his tone tells me this won't be easy.
That was my sense as well.
I doubt he speaks for all of Hotari, so I would urge patience until we speak with their queen.
Interesting. Bow. Show respect. Bow. Joe.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Holtari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your
less
Majesty.
fingers.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
Saying this wouldn't be easy was an understatement. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not
She can speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
What do we say? What direction?
Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek,
Okay.
Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians.
Okay, that...
Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable.
Okay, that...
Not unlike
goes in
how
some-
we have been treated by the Elydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
I can't speculate on something that never happened, Your Majesty. Sadly, that opportunity never came for the Kobliad.
No, it did not. But we'd be wise to learn from their example before we too find ourselves facing extinction. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to
Yeah, the
secure a
Cardassians
steady
are pretty
supply.
impressive.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here?
Well, that's not
I want
untrue.
the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
It's possible the Federation has an interest in both peace and securing a steady source of dilithium. One does not preclude or prevent the other. But that's just my personal opinion.
Given the Federation has done business with the Elidians for decades, I would agree. It's entirely possible, if not highly likely.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without Elidian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
What do you mean treachery?
That is enough of your lies!
It was their moon.
The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau? Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Elidians?
It should be...
It can only be one or the other, not both.
If I have to choose only one, then it would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make any other choice?
This is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
The mines are ours. Lydia will not be
It's
deterred.
not your fucking moon.
We'll take back our mines by any means
Then
necessary.
you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I suppose there is some sense to that.
I'm trying to ingratiate myself with them. I want to know what Captain Solano thought Jara handled a complex situation as well as could be expected when the Hotari Queen put her on the spot in the Queen's chamber. Ambassador Spock thought Jara performed well under the pressure when she was being questioned by the Hotari Queen. Oh, okay.
I hope we meet again, Jara Ryder.
I'm here to ingratiate myself. That was... It kinda went well.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
Agreed. But it's their moon, so if you make me choose a side, I choose the side for which the place belongs.
The captain and ambassador have it handled. I've got my own mission.
And that's the truth. Like, I need to... Like, the Hotari will like me a bit more for what I said. And can't speak to you.
Soothing.
Okay. So, let's...
Commander, I'm glad you've chosen to side with the Hotari. I knew the Federation would see through the Elidians' baseless claims and protect the interests of my people.
To be clear, I'm not on either side of this conflict. Our only interest is peace.
I will keep that in mind.
I assume you were there, the day the mines were seized from the Elidians.
Not seized. Reclaimed. And restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there. We had to be decisive. Before the Elidians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
I'm curious why the Elidians haven't fought back. They have the ability to retake the mines anytime they want.
Ability is one thing. Courage is another.
Okay.
The Elidians know any hostile action on their part will not end well. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome.
Right.
Any
Well,
talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest
Not
warship.
at all.
Ready to contend with anything the Elidians might have in store.
No.
Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
It wasn't designed as a warship. More for scientific research and exploration.
But the Federation must have ships designed for war.
We do.
Technically, they're Starfleet ships representing the Federation. But yes.
I see.
Sidron.
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
Okay. Well, I don't know if that went well or not. I'm hoping it did.
Commander Rydek? I'm
Honesty
encouraged to
is
see
sort
the
of my
Federation
policy.
supporting my people. I'm afraid of what might happen without your help.
If anyone deserves thanks, it's Ambassador Spock. No one is more invested in negotiating a peaceful settlement to this conflict than he is.
I'm so glad. We need his help before the situation escalates further than it already has. It's been
I can
very
imagine.
trying. I saw you speaking with Sidron, our national hero. I'm curious, what did he say?
He seems to be of the opinion that negotiating for peace is a waste of time.
Because force is the only blunt instrument he understands. He's a miner, not a diplomat. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down.
Okay.
Galvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now, they have the Queen's ear. Better or worse, depending on your perspective.
I assume they've taken your place.
I was one of the Queen's most trusted advisors. And I
Right.
hope to prove myself worthy of being so again. Which is why you're here.
I know I'm not the most talkative during this
My
game.
fear has been that the Elidians
but-
will launch an attack and crush us.
Okay.
You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to. But it never happened.
Which means there's a reason.
And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid.
What did what?
don't know what
Something
they're
was
afraid of.
found in the mines.
It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. But it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
Do you think it has something to do with the ion storm? Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
It's entirely possible. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has knocked out all kinds of systems. So maybe the Elidians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference.
Something was found in the mines, and you now
Since
have
the day of
control
the
over
revolt,
it.
Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No
Yeah.
one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the
Yeah,
mines.
that's what I figure.
I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
Are you sure of this?
It's been the talk of the palace since the day of the revolt.
How can we know?
Okay. I'll leave it there.
I'd better see what's happening.
Okay.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding? I need to see proof of something before I can make my case to the Federation.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
Take this. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Would they know how to use a tricorder?
I will let you know what I
I
find.
imagine it's rather unique to Federation
I look forward to our
technology.
meeting again.
Not to say that they're illiterate, it's just that every single species is going to have their
I couldn't help
own
but notice you were speaking
design.
with the Hotari this whole time. I figured in the interest of fairness, I should offer another perspective.
I would love
Of
to hear
course.
another perspective.
I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but these negotiations rely on the Federation's neutrality.
Agreed.
As does any hope you might have for a supply of dilithium in the future. So, why you would choose to side with the Hotari escapes me. Without Lydian involvement, there is no dilithium trade.
We are and will remain completely neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution to this conflict.
As is ours. Of course, the question is...
It's not a
at what
price concern.
Major Sarlet Arminta, Special Attaché, Lydian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Pleasure to meet
I
you too.
have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
You sound skeptical.
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mine? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That
They
somehow
found something.
the miners were able to harness the energy from
Yeah,
the
they
storm.
found some technology there.
I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself.
You just answered your own question. How do a group of miners do something that in theory can't be done? That's how. Harnessing the storm.
But even if it's true, how does that even happen?
You tell me.
Yeah, I'm thinking they found something.
If you'll excuse me, Commander Ryder.
Okay, well that's good information to have. Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning, that this storm is not entirely artificial. Okay. Let's go this way, I guess.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Illydians stormed out.
Well, we have
The
our
Hotari
answer.
did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more
Yep.
fruitful than ours.
Indeed. We found
Gravitational
out what's
harmonics
happening.
failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
Yep.
It is evident that presently the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying
Well,
something about this region of space
there have
prevents
been
warp travel?
cases in Star Trek
Prevents it,
where...
or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clearer picture
That's a
of the
good
phenomenon.
idea.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
Okay.
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
Excellent. Oh, we're piloting. Okay, fly the shuttle to your objective in to complete a mission. W to fly forward, D to fly... Why is D fly backward? Why is D backward? That should be right. That's a weird... Okay, Q and E to ascend and descend. Why is D backward? That should be right. Yeah, strafe is A and D. I think it just listed incorrectly. Okay, down. There we go. Okay, so we want to
Commander
stick
Westbrook,
inside
the Resolute
this.
systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
That's up,
Thank you,
that's
Mr.
down.
Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
Let's go down further,
And, Mr.
avoid that
Diaz,
thing.
do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft. Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
We're looking down there
Chovak
as well.
probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
Nah, Lieutenant Commander Chovak's not so bad. You know, once you get used to him. And, I've learned a lot working under him.
I have a feeling I'm going to have to work harder to be a political animal like you, with this new first officer coming aboard.
This is handling terribly, this vehicle. Right. You want to deploy the first one? We're basically there.
This is far enough. Transporting the first probe into position.
Okay.
Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem?
I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. But on the other, she did listen to my advice and use the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one Solano chose instead of, well, one of us.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa!
Whoa. All right. Right,
That's
that
what I
is
said.
definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there.
That was weird.
With 2 points of data, the Resolute and the probe, we've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there. Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. And don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture.
Okay. I'm
Before
not sure what you
Rydek
mean.
showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap. I mean, if he'd said that about Chovak, sure.
I appreciate the advice, Commander. I'll make sure I keep my options open.
I don't need to tell you how to operate. You're already well on your way.
I don't think you do have the people skills, but you can learn them.
Keep up the good work, and who knows?
But that wasn't an
Solid
option to
jack of all
say.
departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too. Of course, if you get an officer's commission, they'll put you on another ship.
You know, I'd be the best leader Starfleet ever had. Lower decks always have to fix all the problems Command causes. Maybe I just save everybody some steps.
Well, don't forget about us little people when you're running things.
Of course not. You gotta remember where you came from.
Okay. Apparently we... Okay, so with Carter... Commander Westbrook enjoyed his conversation with Carter, coming away with the impression he's smart, pragmatic, and confident in his knowledge of the ship. Excellent. Playing the diplomatic path. Okay, there is... This is not giving a three-dimensional representation of where I am very well
This is
with
close
the
enough.
radar
Stop the
below
engines.
us.
Deploying the probe. Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again.
It'll
Warp
happen
field
again.
collapse in 3, 2, 1. Mark.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Yeah, this is... They found something
Here's
in the mines.
readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and the probes.
All this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
Okay, locate the interference peaks. Like there? No. Looks like there's one. Oh, okay, we're just...
We got something.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
Okay. There should be 3, right? That makes the most sense. Oh, there's one. There we go.
Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
Why would they be doing this? We came here to help these people. And now we're getting hit by some warp-killing weapon?
Now, look here. It's current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations... they line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger.
Yep. That's kind of what I was getting at, but I don't know what yet.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. But one thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Illidians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship. This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Illidians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
She doesn't like the way Galvin and Sidron have been manipulating the situation. And the Queen. Working with us to go around them isn't the same as betraying her people.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
Sidron was very curious when we spoke outside the Queen's chamber. He wanted to know all about us, our ship, the Federation. He wasn't giving any answers. He was looking for them.
Well, I'm sure you didn't tell him too much. I don't think the Illidians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Armintas said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harnessed the energy of the storm.
Harnessed the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Illidians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
But whatever they found might.
Commander Rydek, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from
There's
Hotari.
any number of civilizations
Advisor
that
Tylus has
could have created it.
Put her through.
Galvin and Sidron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
If she gets in trouble, we gotta back her up.
Something. I'm sending you a scan.
Got it.
Get
Tylus,
out of there.
If we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but...
Go. Go, girl.
I have to go.
Get out.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
Agreed.
It was hard to tell.
I'm the one who got her into this. If something happens to her, it's my fault.
She's one of the Queen's closest advisors. I'm sure she'll be fine. Assuming the Queen isn't part of this. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
Oh, okay. He went green. Captain Solano liked how Jara took responsibility for any danger Tylus might encounter by helping the Federation. Okay.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. But if this came from the mines, then it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Illidians.
Then we have to go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We were, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough. At least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption. And targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
Okay. I mean,
As I
it's
was
their
telling Carter,
moon.
I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari. Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Yeah.
Will do.
Let's find out as much as we can. This is interesting.
I'll join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
Okay, well let's get to
I
it.
didn't like this warp problem when we thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
What do you say we pull these chips and find out?
Okay, what have we got? What have we
Took
got?
some damage on the way. That ionic interference scored the hull plating. Might be some micro welds. Let's try pulling together.
All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. It won't budge. Gotta be the storm damage. We need to... Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No. Nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
You okay?
Okay, I'll apply pressure while you decouple the panel.
Okay. Got it.
Here, I'll help.
Okay, pull. Pull all together. Let's get this thing open. There we go.
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You
Okay.
really know everything about these ships, don't you? The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
Well, I wouldn't say everything, but I know my stuff.
I can see that.
Why did that go neutral? Miranda noticed Carter's usual confidence was tempered by some much-needed humility when she returned from Hotari. What?
Come
I've
on,
been kind of
start
humble
pulling
most of the time. Much-needed humility? Okay. Let's grab these isolinear chips. How many are we taking? All of them?
What's this?
Some kind
I
of
didn't hold it
crystal
down long
formation?
enough, so I thought it was me. But that might have been automatic.
Whoa. This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level. What's it doing in there?
Don't touch it. Oh well, you're doing
Wait.
it.
Regulation 364, subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364, subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
No. Before anything else, this is a security issue.
Okay.
You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
Just leave it there for now. Messing around with it could be dangerous. At least until we know more.
That's exactly why we need to get it to the containment lab. I can't make an exception just for you.
I'm not asking you to.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are.
I understand that, but I
I
don't...
overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle. Now these crystals? Maybe this situation is more than we can handle with just a science vessel.
We're good.
It could trigger a distress call. Get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I could send a message to my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some combat-tested vessels.
Miranda, you gotta be more careful. Someone hears that, they could think you're talking mutiny.
I'm just trying to figure out how we can help. Okay, stand back.
She's... Something's
Get
off.
this to the containment lab. We'll get it set up for
off.
you. I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
Oh, we'll be there.
Last thing you want is to study this down in main engineering and have it explode next to the warp core. Almost forgot.
Can't have that.
For a second, I thought she'd gone cold on you. Like she might have changed her mind. But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's because this is all happening so fast?
Yeah, there was something a little off about her.
Like that talk about sending a distress call? That was pretty out there. She was probably just thinking...
Okay, why did it go back to, like, neutral for her? Ed Salar noticed how Carter shared her suspicion when Miranda returned from her Atari.
I'm sure she'll come to her senses. This mission has enough complications stacking up.
Now, we'll get through it. You, me, and Miranda too.
Something's off.
Commander Rydek was able to work behind the scenes during the negotiations and made contact with a representative from the Hotari delegation named Tylus. She mentioned an unusual artifact of unknown origin being held under tight security within the Hotari Palace, which she believes came from the mines on Tau. Now, this artifact might have a connection to the revolt, to the storm, and to the warp disruption we now know has been targeted at the Resolute. Commander Rydek, if you want to take it from here.
Of course. Tylus managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded location within the palace and sent us these scans using my tricorder. It appears to be some sort of control panel, possibly connected to the warp disruption weapon originating on Tau. Of particular interest is this symbol, which we couldn't identify the origin of.
The Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has come across this before, the system should recognize it.
Cross-referencing with Federation records.
Displaying symbols from Federation database with a 90% probability of match or higher. Select
Okay.
a symbol to further analyze.
It's not that one. It's certainly not Klingon. That could be it, but I don't think so. No. That is very close.
.2% match.
Got it.
The Takon.
So, what are we looking at?
The design and composition indicate this is a glyph associated with the ancient Takon Empire. Their civilization collapsed over 600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Takon were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Is it possible the Hotari found Takon technology?
I wonder if they even know what they have.
Our knowledge of the Takon is limited.
Actually, I've heard of the Takon.
You have?
Quite impressive, Commander.
Computer, summarize the Enterprise D's discovery of the Takon outpost.
On stardate 41386.4,
Yeah,
the USS
that's
Enterprise
the planet
D,
with
under
like the
command of
weird
Captain
doorway,
Jean-Luc
right?
Picard discovered a Takon outpost in the Delphi Ardu system. According to the mission summary, an unbreakable energy-draining field was deployed against the Enterprise and a Ferengi ship.
Yeah.
The Enterprise was only able to escape after negotiating their release with an entity known as Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takon Empire.
Unbreakable energy draining field. It starts to make sense.
What else is there?
There's a lot here. Let's take it piece by piece.
Select the aspect you wish to learn more about.
Let's start with the D.
The technology to capture and hold the Federation flagship would have to be unbelievably powerful. Computer, what else can you tell us about the energy-draining field the Takon used?
The Enterprise D was unable to break free on its own. The precise nature of the technology was never fully understood. Only that the crystalline technology used was beyond the comprehension of then-current Starfleet
Wasn't the
science.
doorway
The engineering team found a quantized spin crystal formation in the shuttle you took to Hotari. They registered
Might have been the
tetrametric
introduction to the
radiation coming from
Ferengi?
it.
We have Takon technology on board right now?
You might. I'll run a full analysis in the containment lab.
Okay.
There appears to be some sort of restriction order from Starfleet. Computer, explain this restriction.
A Starfleet directive similar to General Order 7 forbids entering the Delphi Ardu system or attempting to make contact with Portal 6-3.
Starfleet doesn't throw up a no trespassing sign for just anybody.
I suppose it makes sense considering what happened to the Enterprise D.
Okay.
What sort of planet is Delphi Ardu 4?
Delphi Ardu 4 is an M-class planet, a barren rocky world with little to no vegetation and frequent
Yeah,
ion storms.
that was the
giant
introduction to
crystals
the
that
physical
grow there
appearance
absorb
of
energy,
the
but it is not
Ferengi.
understood how they do so. The entire Delphi Ardu system, consisting of 11 planets, was considered completely uninhabited until the encounter with Portal 6-3.
Frequent ion storms. That can't just be a coincidence.
No, but it wasn't green, it was blue.
Someone from the Takon Empire is actually still around.
Or at least was, 16 years ago.
Computer, what other information do you have on Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takon Empire?
The entity known as Portal 6-3 is of an unknown nature. A biped humanoid, he was unaware that the Takon Empire no longer existed at the time of the encounter. He was able to control the crystal-based technology of the Takon outpost through apparent telepathic means. It was by his choice that the Enterprise was released from the energy-draining field after Commander William T. Riker of the Away Team argued on behalf of both Starfleet and the Ferengi.
Telepathic control of their technology.
As I have said, they were the most advanced civilization in the galaxy.
The Elydians should have crushed the revolt. But if the Hotari have Takon technology and can control it, I see why they're willing to negotiate peace. For all we know, this could be just the beginning. And we're up against something greater than we can imagine.
For now, it's probably best we don't let on how much we know.
Play our cards close to the vest. Smart. I agree. Then when the time is right, we can confront them.
Diplomatically, of course.
Right.
We've been able to triangulate the source of the ionic interference and warp disruption to a specific mine on Tau. Engineering used the latest data from your shuttle to pinpoint its origin. There.
So we know where to look.
We need to know what's down there. What the Hotari are hiding, to better understand what we're up against. And to neutralize it if we can.
Captain, embarking on a mission to the Hotari moon would not be viewed favorably by either side. However, given the circumstances, we are entirely within our rights to defend ourselves.
I just want to make sure this doesn't blow up in our faces. Which is why I'm thinking of sending Commander Rydek on a covert mission to Tau.
I'm not entirely sure that's
Assuming
a good
you're
idea.
up to the task. It would require absolute secrecy. And obviously, it's not without risk.
I'll get the away team in and out. They're in safe hands with me.
Under normal circumstances, that would be the case. But given the sensitive nature of this incursion, I'm afraid you'll have to go it alone.
Understood.
I'm hoping Tylus can accompany you. The priority is to avoid detection. It's a calculated risk. The last thing we need is to get caught and then blamed for violating our neutrality and aggravating an already tense situation. We can't afford any mistakes, which is why I've chosen you.
It's a risk we have to take. We need to know what we're up against.
Agreed. And of course you'll have the full support of the Resolute throughout.
We must take every precaution.
Get in touch with Tylus and make the necessary arrangements.
Okay, she didn't like that. Lieutenant Bedrosian was inspired by Jara's boldness when discussing how to address the Hotari threat during the senior staff meeting. Captain Solano couldn't help but be impressed by Jara's fearlessness with regard to the mission to Tau despite the evident risks.
Discreetly as possible.
Bridge to Captain Solano. The Illidians have moved additional ships to the edge of the Hotari system. Current heading is straight for the homeworld.
Understood.
It would seem we no longer have the luxury of waiting.
They might have worked out the...
May I suggest you and I return to Hotari Prime?
The extent of what can be controlled.
Commander Rydek as much time as possible to complete her mission.
Agreed. We'll hail the Queen's delegation from my ready room. We all know what we need to do. Dismissed.
Okay. Okay. Let's get into it then. This is... Yeah, thank you. I want to get back to this. There's
Petty
the
Officers
investigation.
Diaz and Edsolar, where is the crystal formation that you found in the shuttle? I have tasked Ensign Calloway with performing a full analysis of the tetrametric pulses.
Security brought it to the containment lab.
I was just there. They don't know anything about it. Security never checked it in.
Miranda never got there?
She's the one that had the crystal formation?
Diaz, Tamaris.
Try her again. Commander Westbrook to Petty Officer Miranda Maris. Respond.
Something's not right.
She's still on the ship. She has to be.
Computer, locate Petty Officer Miranda Maris.
Petty Officer Miranda Maris is in the isolinear storage array on Deck 5.
I'll go find her.
Good.
I am sure Mr. Diaz can attend to this on his own.
Yep. You're lucky I don't really see this as a proper relationship, so I'm gonna do whatever's necessary, because... There are isolinear chips on the ground. This is weird.
properly pulled these isolinear chips?
Yep. She ain't her. She's been replaced with someone using some sort of cloaking or something.
Who did this?
Who do you think? She was acting weird. And then she kissed you at the end to try and make it seem more normal. Yeah, I'm not calling. She wasn't answering her comm, so it's not her. And she didn't take it where she said she was taking it. Security wanted to help out with the shuttle, which is a little weird based on the interaction so far. We did say that it was a science ship. Maybe they figured we were going to try and study what we found. Stunner.
What the?
It's not her. Set your phaser to stun. Now.
Oh, it's just you. I'm busy right now. Why don't you come back later?
What's the matter? Were you worried it was gonna be someone else?
No. I mean, I'm glad it's you. But I'm through here, so I can't stay and chat. I have other things to do.
Stun her.
Sorry you came all this way for nothing.
What exactly were you doing in here? I saw you accessing files, copying them onto that.
This is secure data.
No, it isn't.
It's really not my place to talk about it.
Stun her.
Look, I appreciate that you came to check on me, but I'm fine. You worry too much. We're on a starship.
I'm worried because you're acting strange. I don't know what it is you're really doing in here, but Commander Westbrook said the crystals you took never made it to the containment lab.
Will you drop it?
No, I will not.
I don't like being interrogated, Carter.
Don't care.
Hey, wait up!
You won't. Stun her, you fool.
I'm getting some very mixed signals from you right now.
Yeah, stun her.
I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of stress right now.
Stun her.
Just tell Chovak or whoever I don't know where the crystals are, and let me go about my business.
Not a chance.
I know we have some things to figure out.
I don't know what it is, but you're hiding something. What's in that storage drive?
I told you, it's secure data. So drop it.
Not a chance.
Miranda, hold on.
No. Get out of my way.
Not a chance. Stun her.
So I see you found each other.
You were taking so long, the commander sent us to see what the problem was.
No, he didn't.
Diaz, you were sent here with specific orders, and fighting your crewmate wasn't one of them. What the hell is going on here?
Let's just let them explain.
I'd like to hear that, because I know what it looks like.
There's something seriously wrong with her. She's not herself, I'm telling you.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Well, for one, she was copying data onto this.
This drive is unauthorized.
There are ISOs all over the floor.
And that's why I was in here, investigating this situation.
No.
And when Carter came looking for me, we got our wires crossed. It wasn't anything more than that.
Look, I wish I was wrong about this. That I was overreacting. More than anything. But I know what I saw. And it's not what she's saying.
I can't believe this.
I don't know what's going on here, but I think we need to call it into security.
Agreed.
She can explain herself in the brig.
Hold on a minute. We don't need to put this on anyone's permanent record.
Yes, we do.
Carter said you're not yourself. If something's wrong with you, we should head to sickbay and the doc will fix you right up.
Yeah, I haven't felt right since I came back from Hotari. I think I should see the doctor.
You two know her? If you really think she's not well, we can take her to sickbay first.
I don't think
but
that's...
what I know is this is a security
I agree.
breach, and we should treat it as such.
Please, just let
Not
me
a
go see the doctor.
chance.
This is Petty Officer Diaz. I need a security team to Deck 5.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah. I think she's not her, and right now security is the best bet. She can explain it all after that. Permanent record doesn't matter right now. What lies beneath? We're getting a lot of titles of Next Generation episodes as the titles of this, which is fascinating. Find Tylus. No tricorder, no phaser. Okay.
Rydick here.
This is Zermatt. Any trouble getting to the surface?
I'm really starting to miss transporters.
As long as this storm is around, you'd better learn to like shuttles. But if you can find the cause of the interference, we might be able to get back to transporting.
As if I needed another incentive. We both know there's a lot more than that riding on this.
Fair enough. You'll need to get in and out of the mine undetected, so I hope Minister Tylus can help in that regard.
We'll see.
So do I.
And to keep this covert, we'll refrain from contact unless absolutely necessary.
Understood.
Now I know why
Rydick
they
out.
gave the relationship an option in the Carter storyline there. Gave it as an option to try and get you to feel tighter bonded to the girl and give her a break, but come on. Like, it came out of the blue. You needed a bit more establishment than that to make it worth trying to establish as a thing. Okay, there's something over there we can interact
I can
with.
crouch under this.
Well, of course you can. There we go. Through there. Okay, so what is going on? Is she replaced by one of the
The
locals?
ionic interferences coming from underground.
Using some
I should
more
find a safer way down
technology to mask themselves as her? Is that what happened there, maybe? Let's go around here real quick, because it looked like I could go up this bit. Okay, that's just a drop. But it does give me a little bit more of a view. Okay. Let's go around. Okay, yeah, I think that's what's happening, but I could be wrong on that. She might have some sort of alien influence with the technology, the Takon technology. I don't know. There's any number of ways that could play out in the Star Trek setting. What I do know is she wasn't herself, and taking her to Med Bay first was not the right call.
I saw your shuttle take off. Hopefully no one else did. It's good to see you. Even under these unfortunate circumstances.
When you called to give us a scan, it sounded like they caught you. I was worried you'd been hurt.
It was nothing I couldn't handle.
Lead the way. I'll fill you in on what we've learned about the situation.
Follow me.
The device Galvin and Sidron brought back from the mines is being used to control some sort of warp disruption weapon that has the Resolute trapped in Hotari space. According to our readings, the power source for that device is on this moon, at the specific coordinates I sent you.
That sounds impossible. But explains the rumors of the Hotari controlling the ionic storm.
We strongly suspect the device was created by an ancient empire known as the Takan.
The Takan?
Once the most powerful civilization in the galaxy, but they've been gone for over 600,000 years.
It's hard to believe there's something like that on Tau.
Which is why I need proof. If we find hard evidence that Galvin and his allies are hiding dangerous Takan technology, I can convince the Federation to let us intervene.
Understood. We're almost there.
This is weird too. He's really reserved right now. Tylus is so reserved right now. So what's going on?
That's the mine?
Prospect 614 North, Subdivision 20.
It's enormous.
Just one of the thousands across Tau. The pride of Hotari.
How do we get inside?
The structure that circles the mine has entry points for transporting equipment into the lower levels. They're guarded, but nothing I can't get past using my authority.
Well, that's good to hear.
As long as you can avoid being seen, I should be able to talk my way past any miner. And provide a little distraction for you in the process.
How do I avoid being seen?
You don't use the door.
Okay.
How dare you! Don't you know who I am? I am Tylus Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
That's not...
The Queen would be furious to hear you tried to deny me entry.
the Queen. But I just...
You just what? Just now realize the trouble you've made for yourself? And who exactly do you think you're going to report this to? Because I'll be reporting
Find
as
your
well
way across
to
the
someone
cabin.
much further up the ladder. You have no authority here. Do you understand who pays your wage? I can inform the Queen directly of this instance.
There's
You'll
no...
regret everything you've said.
Scan, I guess?
You should have opened the doors the second I appeared before.
Why have I got this open?
That's not the protocol. I didn't know
Each
you were...
second you delay my entry will be recorded, processed, and permanently marked on your record. I can't believe this. Does your brain function? Do you speak our tongue?
Minister, I have orders.
How could a fellow Hotari not understand this? You're digging your own grave.
Force field. Looks like it was installed recently. No safe way around it.
I told you, I can't just...
Now. A wise choice.
Okay. Let's get a look inside you.
Okay, prevent solid matter from passing through. Okay. Anything else to scan on this? Signal receiver that controls field activation. And anything else? No, I don't think so. Must be, because it's still letting me do stuff. Oh, there we go. Component focusing the pattern of the force field. Okay. Anything else purple here? Holster. Complete scan.
Full system access. Let's see if I can just... Bingo.
Okay. What's that over there? Don't know. Okay, this way first. I mean, we could have just crawled over those boxes, really.
Better
Okay.
hurry. Not sure how long she can keep him busy.
Okay. Can't crouch or run with a tricorder equipped. Really? That seems silly.
Might control the exit door. Need to see inside it. Something in here is keeping that door closed.
There we go. Maybe that. Contains records of personnel with access to the facility. Component that processes DNA scans of those that attempt to access the doors. Does not store records. Used only as trigger for activation. Okay. And lastly, prevent solid matter from passing through.
Got it. Should remove the security check on the door.
Okay, hang on. Is there anything else to scan with it? No. Okay, holster. Where are we going now? This way? Then we can go through here, right? Yeah. Okay, so what are we finding out over here? Find Tylus. Okay. Well. We need to stay in cover though, and out of the way. Because we don't want to be seen. I'm just trying to keep an eye out for anyone that might find us and keep cover. That might be a bit of cover over there that we're heading to. What about that way? No, okay. Let's duck down over here for a second, I guess. Or vault it.
I didn't come here to educate an imbecile on royal protocol.
Of course not, Minister.
So I will be about my business here, and you will take yourself out of my sight.
Okay.
There you are.
You really let that guy have it.
It worked, didn't it? I'm used to having to throw my weight around. Hard to get anyone to listen to you otherwise.
I'm impressed. I didn't know you had it in you.
There's a lot you don't know about me. Underestimate me at your peril.
They're definitely
The
flirting
catwalks
with
were
each
booby
other. Like, this is... Tylus felt proud after Jara supported the way she handled the guard in the mines of Tau.
Galvin and Sidron have gone to great lengths to keep out the uninvited. Well, we're inside. Where do you want to start?
The ionic interference is coming from below us. We need to go deeper.
That lift goes down, at least to the changeover station. But we can't use it without DNA authorization from one of the guards.
I have an idea, but we need a few samples of DNA from the miners who work here.
Samples?
Fingerprints, sweat, blood.
Which will trick the machine and get us control of the lift.
That's the theory. Let's test it.
Okay, tricorder. Right, holster. Maybe they said before it'll beep when we get close to something, right? So, yeah.
That's an enormous tractor beam.
One of our strongest. The miners dump everything they find into the center, and the tractor beam moves it all up into the collector ship.
You sound a little proud of it.
The Illydians may have given us new tools, but the methods of excavation are all Hotari designed.
Excellent. Well, let's see. Can't scan that. just trying to find any sources of DNA. Don't see any so far, but I'm sure they're around here somewhere. Aha! Hello.
There's DNA on this console, but it's only partial. I can't use this.
Maybe because we're outside.
The weather out here could dilute any DNA samples.
What about inside that structure? That's where the workers spend most of their time.
Good idea.
Oh.
An Illydian console.
All the managerial technology in the mines is Illydian.
So they can keep an eye on their investment.
That's how it is.
Okay. Let's see.
Wow, that is a lot of DNA. I should look for the most concentrated spots.
Right, we need... probably that thing.
I can use this.
We need... there we go, bio. Residual oil deposits reveal a distinctive pattern of ridges and valleys consistent with a fingerprint belonging to a Hatari male approximately 36 cycles in age. Okay.
That's a stable DNA sample. It's only partial, but a few more should do it.
Okay, primitive by Starfleet standards, this mining pick is a tool for excavating dilithium. Atari take advantage of their naturally high strength to break apart solid rock. Okay, let's go check on that one.
Not concentrated enough. I should try somewhere else.
That looks like it's pretty
This'll work.
concentrated. There we go. Residual oil deposits reveal a distinctive pattern of ridges and valleys consistent with a fingerprint belonging to a Hatari male approximately 36 cycles in age. Detected the presence of cells shed from the outermost layer of skin, indicates recent contact with this surface. A pattern of saliva consistent with a sudden burst of air from the nose and mouth, likely caused by environmental irritants. Yeah, I didn't think there'd be any other...
Good. That's another I can use. Just
Right.
need one more sample.
Okay, one more sample. Let's holster it, because walking around in that view is really quite irritating.
Hotari must be tough on the inside, too. If they eat in here, it's likely there's some DNA in the room.
That's it, I agree.
Leftovers. I should give this a scan. There's gotta be stable DNA here.
No, we'd think so. Saliva residue. Hatari saliva is viscous to accommodate their harsh diet. Dental prints of a Hatari male 24 cycles in age. Hatari food is often dense, allowing use of prolonged utensils.
Perfect. That's enough to make the DNA profile. Time to go back to the lift.
Okay, there we go.
You're not coming inside?
There are some things I'd rather not smell.
Ah.
Fair enough. I assume there's a lot of sweat there.
What's in all these containers?
These contain mining supplies, tools, energy packs for machinery.
Shouldn't mining supplies be inside the mines?
It is troubling. If the workers here aren't mining...
And where are all those rocks coming from?
This facility doesn't seem well maintained.
Yes, this seems troubling.
Do you think we could just find a way to climb over this?
Possibly. But the console on the lift itself is locked by the same system that locks this ramp.
No shortcuts, then.
I'm sure you can figure something out.
Okay.
It worked.
Theory proven.
I'll get it started.
Ready?
Okay, well, let's get moving. Figure out what the hell's going on here, I guess. It's a really interesting game.
I'm afraid of what we might find down there.
We'll be okay. I've survived worse than this.
Well, I haven't. But I'll put my faith in you. For now.
Can we talk to her about anything else while we're here, or are we just wandering around here aimlessly?
Jara. No, stay back. There's a guard at the station. You'll have to hide.
Okay. I'm trying.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
You watch your tone with me. I'm Tylus Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs. I speak for the Queen herself.
This is a restricted area. No one gains access without the approval of Galvin or Sidron.
Wait.
US Gawad.
Are you all right?
I don't know.
Are you injured?
No, I thought if I could talk my way through like always, I'd be fine, but... I'm a diplomat. This isn't what I do. I've never even fired a weapon. This is just... It's real now. I wasn't ready for this.
Hey, I'll keep you safe.
Can you?
I was a tactical officer before I was posted to the Resolute. I know my way around a phaser. You saw how I handled our large friend here.
I suppose that is somewhat reassuring. My authority has never been challenged like that. It meant nothing to him.
So we should assume any Hatari we encounter from here on can't be reasoned with.
Agreed. The only loyalty they have down here is to Galvin and Sidron.
Mm-hmm.
Can you switch over the lift?
Guard should have a scan card that will allow us to operate the switch.
There it is. Wait a second, let's...
That's some serious armor.
Conditions in the mines are harsh, even for Hotari.
Okay.
An Illydian disruptor.
I assume the miners took weapons from the Illydians before they fled the mines.
That explains some of how the uprising happened, but not enough.
Should we take it with us?
No. My phaser is more efficient. Unless you want it.
Oh no. Weapons aren't my thing.
Fair enough.
Got it.
How's your intake
dead,
of...
He's still one of my people, and I didn't come here to take Hotari lives.
My phaser's set to stun.
You
He'll
ring.
be perfectly fine, just unconscious for a while.
I see. We don't have that sort of technology on our weapons.
Good to know.
Okay, so... There are questions I have, but I don't know how to articulate them here. There's something else happening, and I don't know what it is. There's
Energy
something
readings are emanating from this
that's
tunnel.
just nagging at the
It's
back
sure
of
to
my
be guarded
mind,
in there.
and I can't
Stay
quite
low and
bring it
follow my
forward.
lead.
But there's something deeper here than just the Takon technology and the control of the Atari.
Is that all dilithium?
Not all of it. We excavate large chunks of rock that contain varying amounts of dilithium ore. It's sorted and processed at the collector ship above.
Gee, that's a lag fest looking up there, isn't it? Gee, okay. Checking over here first for anything. Nope. Okay. There's something deeper at play. Are the Hatari replaced too, maybe? Maybe it wasn't them who revolted.
More guards.
I take that as a sign we're getting
As
close.
such.
I'll get a closer look. Looks like they've improvised a barrier.
Yes, we must be getting closer.
Okay.
We need that particular card, don't we?
I'm afraid so.
We don't have time to wait for them to finish whatever they're doing. We'll have to try to keep low and sneak past them.
I'm starting to see the utility of a phaser.
I wouldn't stand a chance against all three of them.
No, not at the same time, but if you can take them out one at a time.
Can you open that door?
Not without that scan card.
Okay.
I don't
we
like
know
our
what we gotta
options
do.
here. I have to get us that card so we can open the door.
How? If they detect you, Galvin and Sidron's followers are clearly willing to kill to protect whatever's in this mine.
Yep.
Hey, I'm trained for this. I'll be fine.
You stay here.
What should I do?
You stay here.
Avoid being seen. Stick to the edge of the room and meet me at the door.
Okay, let's get going. We can do this. Now, how's your intake? Did you get your transfusion before coming on this mission? Stealth scenes. During stealth sequences, there are enemies that, if alerted, will hunt you and try to catch you. Okay, how do we... That's how we go to the next page. Thank you. I was trying to work that out during the other bit. If you are caught, your mission has failed. Enemies can see you if they are looking in your direction. Stay crouched with control and avoid their line of sight. You can use shift to sneak faster while crouched. If an enemy sees you, a blue marker will appear. If it fills up all the way, you will be caught. Get out of sight quickly to lose their attention. Enemies will take predictable paths. Watch them and learn their patrol patterns to find a time to move forward safely. In certain locations, there will be interactable points that distract the guards. Use these to draw the guard to that location. This may open up a path they were guarding. Okay. Okay, we want to come through here. You're standing right there. You're going to walk across there.
Almost done here.
Where am I going from here is the big question. When you start walking back, I'll know.
Solidian technology is such a hassle. We should
There we go.
try something else. They saw our power. Are resolved. They're terrified of us. Until the plan is complete, we're vulnerable. Then get back to work, and we'll complete the plan more quickly.
Okay. Climb up here. Okay. Wait. Now. Okay, now you're over there. And you move to this side.
Good. Good.
No, when you move back
Taste
over
our
there.
victory.
There are multiple levels to this place?
Are you hiding from me? Too slow.
Oh, I just got killed. Retry.
Avoid being seen.
Okay.
Stick to the edge of...
Tylus felt proud after Jara supported the way she... but she was shaken by her encounter with another guard, so she was grateful for Jara's leadership and experience.
And meet me at the door.
Okay. I thought I had that. I didn't realize I was still seen. I will be more careful around there then. I'm glad it doesn't enter into you were caught. Now you're freaking screwed. You've got to talk your way out of this. I'm glad it restarts the part of the mission instead. It said a blue indicator. Instead, it doesn't have a blue indicator. It has like an eye indicator. So it actually doesn't give the indicator it said it does. I guess that was a
Then get back to work, and we'll complete the plan more quickly.
Guess that was the way they chose to do it in the you know, alpha or beta stages, earlier stages of the game.
Arrogant aliens.
Okay, now we're gonna sit here for a moment. Okay. When you move back across the other way, then we get moved.
This requires too many inputs. What's that? Must be seeing things. How long is Galvin going to make us wait? I'm not worried. He's let us well so
I'd
far.
melt if I went through there.
It's a miracle we're even
Keep moving.
here. We've been waiting for so long. Patience, brother. We'll get our chance. It's
Okay.
inevitable after all. That it is.
I guess we're going this way. Yeah, this seems... We're doing better this time round. Got it, let's go. Okay, we're in. Now we can find out what's really going on.
Stay close.
Is there a lot more stealth happening, or is this...
Stop!
What?
Motion sensors.
Yeah, I
They'll
figured
trigger
that.
an alarm. We'll be found.
Invisible to the naked eye.
They could be anywhere. How
They
will we
don't
get
seem
through?
that invisible. An energetic beam used to detect motion, avoid intersecting the path. Okay. Well, guess it's just through here then, isn't it? Yeah, they're not that invisible. I can kind of see them. So we've got, you know, the typical heist laser avoidance thing happening here. Duck down, go through here, and then around this way. I can see where they are enough. Mostly. And then that way. And then to the door. Okay, and we're through. How many more stages to this heist of the Takon technology? Now, Lydians. There'd be a lot of them dead in here, I would imagine. Yeah, it was a massacre.
This?
It's where the uprising started.
Yep. Notice how there's not any dead... Oh, never mind, there is some. I was gonna say no dead Hatari.
Hotari don't do this. We defend ourselves, but we don't kill on this scale, this level of savagery.
There's no such thing as a bloodless rebellion.
I don't know if we should keep going. So much death. I don't want to end up like them.
We'll make sure they didn't die for nothing. What we learn here could save the rest of your people.
Okay. Okay.
There's those crystals.
Whatever happened here, it made the Illydians abandon the mines. Let's find out what they're so scared of.
It wasn't just the Illydians though, was it?
These crystalline particles, they're not dilithium. Are they common in the mines?
Not that I've ever seen.
No, of course not. Mind you, you never found out about the other
and
stuff,
Illydian.
did you? The crystal on the shuttle.
Took a beating.
Okay.
Is this the effects of an Illydian disruptor?
Yes.
Disruptors are cruel weapons.
Yeah, they're usually banned by the Federation.
The Hatari fortified the side of the room opposite the door. It's a good tactic, but a few crates aren't going to stop fully armed Illydian soldiers. How did they win? From the blast marks, it looks like the Illydians had far greater firepower. Footprints. Illydian boots. Running back the way we came.
Yeah. Fleeing because these people aren't themselves anymore.
Tylus.
What?
What kind of weapon did this?
This is like nothing I've ever seen or heard of. My people don't have a weapon that does this.
No, I don't suppose they do. Takon technology.
What else can you tell me?
Let's see. Crystal growth of unknown origin lodged inside the Illydian skull emits low-level tetrametric radiation. Anything on this wavelength? No. Illydians have 4 hearts, all are stopped, and the veins that feed them are clogged with quantized spin crystallization. The crystals appear to have grown from inside the flesh after the initial penetration. The process ruptured several internal organs randomly. The process may not have been fatal instantly.
What an awful way to die. This must be why the Illydians are so afraid. Technology that surpasses their own, in the hands of the Hotari that they've lorded over for centuries.
Where did this weapon come from?
Here.
Well, the crystals are giving off tetrametric pulses. If I set my tricorder to search for that frequency, it'll lead us right to the source.
Okay. Radiation is visible through your tricorder and will lead the way to scannable objects. 4 green lights on the left will fill to indicate the tricorder is facing the source of the radiation. Gee, they really went in depth about how a tricorder works. I love it. Okay, let's start over here.
This makeshift barrier forced the Illidians to enter from the service corridor, creating a choke point. Quite the advanced tactic for a species that's never waged war.
Yes.
The Illidians shot to kill.
But if they killed him, why was he shot in the back?
Huh, you're right. The shot came from the side the Hatari were defending.
We don't kill our own.
Unless they weren't your
just
own.
Caught in the middle.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Think they parked this here on purpose?
One way to find out.
Need any help?
I've got it.
Yeah, I think I'm right. I think it wasn't just... I think the Hatari got replaced, or at least a lot of them. Maybe not the Queen. Maybe, yes, the Queen? I don't know. It's unclear. But a lot of the Hatari were replaced too.
This concentration of tetrametric radiation has never been recorded.
What's with the
Whatever they're
shaky
hiding,
camera? I think
right
that's
through
my
here.
least favourite thing about this so far, is the shaky cam. There's no need for it. And it's only ever during cutscenes, but it's horrible. Like, get rid of the shaky camera stuff. Just have it stable. Shaky camera doesn't suit Star Trek, but also it's really horrible to look at.
This feels strange.
The crystals are increasing, growing outward, replacing the soil.
It's like an infection. A parasite. Growing inside Tau.
I don't know if it's an infection or a parasite. I think what you're dealing with here is a rapidly generating artificial structure.
Incredible.
This is definitely not Hotari.
No, it is certainly not. It's a con, I believe.
It's the remnants of the Takan Empire.
There's a language on the wall there.
I don't think we should be here.
This is exactly where we should be. Every strange thing we've seen in this system, it might all come from this room.
Yep.
We need to learn everything we can.
Collect data and bring it back to Starfleet. Let's start over here. What is this? They can't do anything with that. Look at all of this. What just buzzed? Something buzzed. Was it that? That's a weapon. Right?
Crystallized lithium compound. Its internal structure is extremely ordered. In fact, the states of these crystals on a subatomic level suggests a storage device of some kind.
Okay.
Energy levels are both stable and ordered, like information. Some of them appear to be depleted.
What kind of information would you deplete?
A good question. The data within this device has been depleted. Unknown how this is possible. Yes.
Why are these all over the floor?
Good question. Weapons?
They look different than the others.
These haven't been depleted yet. How are you holding up?
I knew Galvin and Sidron were dangerous. Now I know they're more powerful than I could have imagined. But the worst of it is knowing they got there by turning our people against their own. This place feels wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll get what I need, and we can get out of here.
Thank you. Is it too, convenient that we found this place on
Thank you for pointing
There's
that
an
out.
old Earth saying about never looking a gift horse in the mouth.
What's a horse?
Never mind.
Okay. Nothing on the organic. That there is. Radiation. Tetrametric radiation consistent with other devices nearby. Okay. Chemical. Empty and full slots are differently structured. Does this... Excuse me. Does this solid matter change form? Radically complex crystalline device, purpose unknown. Okay.
This suggests there's some type of complex life form contained within each crystal.
Life form? There's something alive in these tiny crystals?
That's what it says, but hard to imagine how that's possible.
Well, transporter technology. You've also, like...
Our science division will have a field day with this. We need to study it on the ship.
Okay. Is there something else here to scan that I missed? Because it's beeping again. Maybe that on the ground? Nope. The writing here? No. I don't know what we're scanning now. Not the text. Okay, well, let's keep moving then. Maybe it just still beeps when we're near that other spot. Okay, we came from there, so now we'll go up here.
Can your device read this?
It can roughly translate the words, but we don't have enough Taconian language on record to understand how it's structured.
Oh well.
Yeah, we can't really... Oh, that's a thing. A weapon.
Looks like some sort of replicator.
I wouldn't touch it.
I can't get it to work.
Why would you know how to
It has
work
power. Must be looking for some other kind of authorization.
Okay, so we have chemical analysis. Focus energy to perform replication of matter. Quantized spin crystallization resembles a weapon in form, but may have been used on the victims in the mines. Okay, next, nothing organic. We go radiation here. Apparent control surface unknown how to interface with the device.
What is it?
The device's primary function is to transmute lithium into this quantized crystalline compound. Possibly for the creation of weapons.
Do you think one of these was used on that Elydian in the tunnels?
That's possible.
Such a cruel weapon.
Oh, that's doing things.
Jara?
I see it.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Someone turned it on.
There's no one here. But maybe the device I saw in the palace can send a signal?
If that's the case, we may not be alone for long. Let's hurry.
Okay. Wait, was there anything else up here to find? While I'm at it? Don't think so. Okay, let's assume we don't have long to deal with this. Okay. We've got this. I think these are transporter platforms.
Somewhat resembles a transporter pad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna assume these are transporter pads.
Look familiar?
It's almost identical to the console Galvin has hidden in the palace. It looks like a control surface.
Let me scan it before you fiddle with it.
I can feel the power coming off it.
I've never seen this kind of energy before. I'll need to record this with my tricorder.
Yep. Okay, so first up. Nothing radiation, but there is some chemical stuff to detect. Apparent control surface lacking any known markings or input devices. Okay, anything bioorganic? Doesn't seem like it. Let's switch back. Ah, there we go. Radiation there. Tetrametric radiation flowing upward into other parts of this chamber. Levels too diluted to record. Chemical over there. Crystalline structure connected to many energy conduits. Its internal construction defies known laws of physics. I think that's everything, isn't it?
This can't be right. It's putting out almost 50 zettajoules of energy.
I assume that's a lot?
Enough to power this entire quadrant. This amount of power, the kind of radiation it's putting out, it's the cause of the storm. The warp disrupting beam, all of it.
What do we do now?
We get back to the Resolute. They have to know about this. Come on, let's...
Yeah, the transporter pads.
Quickly. We have to hide.
The transporter pads. Or we go this way.
This is outrageous! I demand you let me go!
No need to complain. You're about to receive a gift beyond your wildest
Yeah, they're not
imagination.
Atari anymore. They've put
If
these
anything, I
people
consider it an
inside them that are stored in data storage. They're members of the Takon now. Yeah.
What is that? What are you doing?
You're putting another personality inside him.
I can influence the course of the negotiations. I can make sure the Hotari get the better end of the bargain.
So can I.
Yeah. Right. I think that's the end of that chapter, as far as I know. So that is where we're going to leave that episode. Thank you for joining me for the second episode of Star Trek Resurgence. This is fantastic. I'm loving their approach. And I like how they're sort of dealing with, oh yeah, this is how your relationship with these people is going at the moment. getting to find all of that out. There's still a character we haven't met over here, but then again, I think there's a lot of characters we haven't met over here. Well, I say met. No, that because this only had so many and then expanded outwards afterwards. So yeah, I'm not sure. We're gonna go over here to what we missed out on the shuttle real quick and see page 2 and 3. There we go. The ionic storm will fill your path as dangerous hazards. Green lightning will damage the shuttle. Taking damage 3 times will fail the mission. I don't even see that. You can fly straight through the rings created by the storm if you pilot carefully. Follow the path, the lit path to reach the waypoint. Okay, so we did all of that. But yeah, it's a very interesting plot so far. I think what's happening is those crystals are storing like people, their data, and they're using them to take over the minds of Hattori and now the Illidians as well. And I think one of them was used on Maris and probably her other 2 members of the security team. That's why she was wanting to go to Medbay, because they wouldn't find anything wrong, because all it's doing is putting in it like the data or information of the personality of the Takon people into her, so they don't still read it as being who she is. Like, there wouldn't be any medical way to detect it, or maybe there is. Maybe the brain waves are different or something. I don't know, but that's kind of what I think is happening at the moment. But we'll find out more in the next episode. So have a good one. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other, and I will see you next time. Bye.